This is Lead with Integrity, where we strip leadership down to its core: self-awareness, honesty, and action. I'm Lena, and I'm bringing you real stories, deep conversations, and a nudge to lead your life with purpose. Are you ready to dive in? Hello for another episode. The Lead with Integrity podcast. Today for a special episode here from Tunisia with Pascale and the whole family. Maybe everyone wants to introduce themselves shortly. Who do we have here?
I'm Maren.
Who are you?
I'm Maren.
What makes...
I'm his hard sister.
Basically, they look like sisters, right? And we have Pascale sitting here in the middle as the beauty with like her red dress shining in the sunlight. And Vicky as like an emotional support, I would say. We're here at Titus, our most loyal friend.
Is in lost of affection.
We're here at the location in Tunisia, really beautiful spot. And I had the pleasure to come here for spending a couple of days in the sun at Pascale's place. So I was wondering if you, Pascale, could just tell us the moment you found this space, like how did you decide to actually come here?
I decided, you are speaking about this place, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to stay here like I decide everything in my life very quickly, sometimes too quickly, but as I am. Mm-hmm. Okay? I was absolutely in love with the place. Mm-hmm. Everything can happen after, but I wanted to stay here.
So how did you find this place? Like, did you just drive by, or?
When I came in Tunisia, I didn't want to live in the big town. Mm-hmm. Me and my husband, we were looking for a beautiful place in the nature. We wanted to live in the nature, absolutely. And we found a few places, but this one was the one.
How did you know that this was the one?
I knew.
We have another guest suddenly showing up.
A princess. Princess coming from, we don't know where.
She shows it's her mother's birthday.
Oh.
So she has a beautiful dress.
Okay.
My mother about
Okay.
she gives you the name of her father.
Oh, thank you. So it was more like a gut feeling for you to know that this is the place, or there was no strategic thinking in any of this, right?
It was an evidence. I don't remind a lot in this case. I just. J'aime trop l'asthma.
So what year are we talking about when you found this place? When was that? When did you...
En quelle année? It was a long time ago, 84.
1984. And since then, I know you shared that you started building this small little village that we're currently in, right?
We started building a house to live in, and when we had kids, it had to become bigger. And after, yes, we built a lot of houses, but without any idea. No.
So the idea kind of grew while you were in the process of building it.
After a long time after.
That's so cool. And like, how did you...
The idea came with the words of people we came by us. Everybody said, I feel good here. It's very quiet, it's very resourcing. And
We met 20 years ago, and we felt immediately like a serenity. It was like well-being and calmness and peace. That's what you feel when you come here.
That's what people say.
I agree to that. I also heard that the starting of inviting other guests here to this place wasn't necessarily starting at the same time when you started building this place, right? So what made you open up the place for other people?
In fact, we built a lot because it was very, very difficult to find some people to build, and we have a good team, so we didn't want to let them go. So we built a house without to know what we make with. Yes.
So you build houses for the people you wanted to work with? Is it?
No.
No.
We had good workers. We didn't want to lose them. We had to give them work without to know what we will do with.
For example, the suite of Stan.
You can take it.
Maurer.
Construction workers.
Yes. So, for example, husband, they built the two pieces here for their children. And then Stan came, and the husband, like a lot of my son Victoria's brother, and then he said, "I build you a small house." So he built the suite Stan, and
That's
then
why
because
the name of the suite is because it was for Stan.
Yeah,
This
and then
place
she
was for
said,
Stan.
"Oh, I can't build something for Stan without building for Victoria." So he added something
And
for
Matt.
Victoria and Matt, and then there was and it continued like this.
That's why they are named
After my children, and that's why also and afterwards there was the small children were arriving, the how do you say, the grandchildren, and then they had to build something down because we had to do something, and then they do this, isn't it?
Yes.
It was this.
That's so
it was
cool.
just to build up, and now Pascale had this great idea to build this big conference room, which was perhaps at the beginning was called the écurie. That means for the horses, but they were never horses, so they just called it like this. And so she built a big conference room there in order to receive also for people coming for a day or even for a night, and having team buildings and big buildings, team buildings with a lot of participants.
Yeah.
So she's just keeping on growing and investing everything what she has. She invested in construction.
I play Monopoly, you know.
Yeah. I love it. But I think that's such a beautiful message as well, to just go with, it seems like you really went with your own feeling and with your intuition of just going step by step through it. And
I wake up in the morning and I decide how to do it.
But that's so beautiful. Yeah. Because I think there's a lot of, for other people who are maybe also listening and thinking of doing their own thing and starting their own thing, sometimes it becomes so overthinking and strategy wise that we think so much long term, right? We were talking about it earlier or yesterday evening, that it's like sometimes we overcomplicate things by thinking so much in the future.
Yes.
But and then like what you say, it's just like, okay, taking the things that come into your lab on the day, right? Yes. Or while you were
that's freedom.
Following the breadcrumbs one after the other. Yeah.
Or the guests, they say, "I would like to have, don't you know where we can go for a massage?" And then she had this great idea to say, "Okay, I can build something. I can build a spa center with a massage room." And she loves the sauna, so she really thinks about what's better, the hammam or the sauna. And the sauna is not very, everybody has it. The sauna is something special, so she created her spa center, and that's it.
Wow. But you always listened to also what feels aligned to you, or like I think it's probably a mix of both, right? To listen to what the people want, but also to understand, is that something that I also want to do, right?
You would never build something that you don't like.
No.
Never.
No. What would you say to someone who's listening and maybe in the process of starting their own project, whatever that might be?
I would say this kind of project.
Or any kind of project, yeah. Or if it's easier, start with for this kind of project. If they're also like thinking of maybe building.
I think I would say make it not just use your mind just a little, but use what you are feeling more. That's all.
How do you access your feelings when sometimes your mind is very loud?
I don't know.
I mean, for you, it's probably so normal to feel your body, and that's beautiful. Do you think there are practices that you do that help you to connect with your heart and with your feeling, or is it so automatic for you that there's not like a practice that you could pinpoint?
I think it's a way of connection which is always here. Everywhere I go, everything I do. Not specially practicing anything, but it's a state of mind, a state of being.
How does a general day of Pascale look like?
January day?
Like a day in your life.
Une journée, okay. There is always a surprise. There is not a typical. A good one is a mix between exchanging with people and being alone. Mm-hmm. That's what I love. I love the succession of the both.
Yeah.
And the bath and the pool.
Of course.
Exactly. Yes. Every day she's going to have a bath.
This is my routine. Yes.
Yes.
And in winter, huh?
Yeah.
In the winter. Yes.
Yeah. I heard there is also a sea close by that's called after your name, just because she went like every day into the bath during winter, during summer. Yes. That's why they called it the Sea of Pascale. Yeah. But maybe that's also like a practice, or maybe, yeah. It's just like what feels for you probably super normal to like be in the bath and be in the water and like chatting with people, which is part of maybe understanding how you are so much in touch with yourself or like with the energy that is around here at this place. I was wondering because like you said earlier, that's a matter of mindset, right? On how you start something or approach a new project. And I was wondering, maybe you can give us a bit of a background information on how you were raised or like what made you have this kind of mindset, this positive outlook on the world. Was there something specifically in your upbringing or in the experiences you already had in your life that shaped you in that way?
I think it's the experience, the time. Mm-hmm. The afterlook about experiences.
She was asking if comment tes parents ils t'ont fait grandir en fait. Est-ce qu'il y a quelque chose qui fait que ils t'ont donné envie de découvrir, hein, c'est ça en fait.
Oui.
Comment tu as été élevée pour
J'ai pas compris tout ça dans la question. J'ai pas du tout compris, ouais. Yes, I grew up with a lot of love and freedom too, and trust with the parents who loved themselves very, very much. I think it helps.
Yeah,
and
gives you a lot of self-confidence, huh?
Yes, a lot of confidence.
Were you the only child, or do you have siblings?
I have two brothers, two beautiful brothers.
How was life as the young Pascale?
When you ask the question, I have just a picture. When I was 11 or 12, we were a group. And, it was the time in France they destroyed a lot of castles and beautiful gardens to build des appartements, building flats. And our place was in an old castle with a beautiful big garden with orange trees, and it was a very, very beautiful memories.
Yeah. And they destroyed it?
So we played inside the... Yes, of course.
Yeah.
When we grew up, it became a palace with flats.
And that's where you were playing?
Yes. And after I read a lot of books when I was very young. Mm-hmm. I loved reading a lot of books. I felt that sometimes books are best friends. Mm-hmm. And win a lot of time with them, more than with friends. I had friends too.
Of course. Is there a book that you would highlight that shaped you or that you remember?
When I read a lot, yes, oui. Mm-hmm. For example, Marcel Proust, À la recherche du temps perdu. That's why the house's names is côté de. Du côté de chez Blili. Du côté, that means around. It's about feeling, smelling, touching. About Marcel Proust is writing about how to drink a tea with Madeleine, la Madeleine de Proust. put him in another time with his grandmother, and everything he writes is about that. How everything is a travel. Everything you do, everything you feel, everything you. He makes a lot of.
Nice.
Connections. Yes.
Everything you do is like a travel, like an experience, like a whole discovery.
I was reading a lot of philosophy too, like Nietzsche and everything I found. I was very curious. Yes.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you're a curious soul. Were there like moments or people in your life that you would say, of course, I think you are one of them, that shaped you or like had a big impact on your journey to be the woman that you are today?
Everybody. Sometimes some people I meet, it's a bit difficult at first, and after I always find something to share, something to learn, something to everybody.
Yeah. I totally agree to that. I think every interaction or every conversation that we have with people, or with like what you said earlier, with like objects or plants or anything, right, has like an impact on how you perceive the world or how you interact with the world. And I mean, for anyone who experiences this location here and sees you, how you go so smoothly and naturally from person to person, talking to them.
As you do.
Yeah, I love it as well. I told Vicky earlier that I sometimes see a few like parts of myself in you, or that I admire you for that as well, or I am inspired by seeing how you do it so naturally.
I think meeting people is a big, big pleasure in this life, to discover people, yes.
And you also do hypnosis here at this place.
Yes.
Does that also come through the curiosity?
Yes.
Or how did you?
I am very curious about everybody's story. Everybody's story is beautiful to hear. It's a deep curiosity, not after every séance. I forget everything I heard, but I keep the
essence.
Thank you.
She can read you without words. How is it for someone who has experienced the hypnosis sessions from Pascale before? How would you describe it, the feeling after a session?
Oh,
if I may.
When you have a session of hypnosis, you wanted always to find a solution to something, and I was always surprised about that I found it. What seems to be something very a big obstacle before, and then how easy it is to find it. That is my experience, and there's 100% confidence because you feel that Pascale is empathic and is completely focused on you. I mean, on the person who she is doing the hypnosis with. So there's no own influence. She's only focused on you, and it's completely associated with you. And I think this is the most important thing. In order to be associated, you have to really to forget yourself, and that's what she's doing. And that is really very. I think this is the key of the success of the hypnosis.
Yeah,
absolutely. You said everything.
Yeah.
That's the point.
I love it. Yeah,
well,
really.
To be sure, we don't know better than the person. She knows.
Yeah.
We just have. We just have to take her from a place and to help her to go in the place she wants. And it's not, you just have to feel, not to understand, not to give an advice at all.
It's again the feeling part, right? Yeah. So nice. So anyone who comes here will learn from this beautiful energy that Pascale brings so naturally to the place. Yeah, is there anything that you would maybe give as like the last final words to anyone who is listening? Any invitation to come to Tunisia? Why do you think it's a special culture to experience?
It's a very simple and friendly people, and everything is very easy.
It is safe.
Yes, it's
You
safe.
have nice weather, nice landscape.
Most people are generous
Yes.
and helpful and smiling.
Yeah. I agree to that. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And see you next time for another episode.
You should not cut.
I was so confused. I was so thrown off from the
You should
question.
not cut everything from
This
she was
is
so
Tunisia
cute.
too.
But you could just cut a little bit, not
A
Yeah.
little bit, but leave her like, you know, that just like this girl like comes talk to us and it just shows, you know,
Yeah.
shows that's exactly what
That-
Tunisia is
like
like.
Tunisia
Oh,
is
yeah.
about.
Yeah,
They're
it
just
is
open,
really.
They just come talk to anyone, like even as a little girl.